Hello, friends. Hope you all are keeping good health and you all guys are following government norms, guidelines to safeguard yourself in this COVID 19 pandemic. And it is also requested from my side to stay home, work from home, take precautions, and also learn from home for your upcoming projects, examinations. Today we are going to discuss about educational program. This is very important for children with intellectual disability or autism spectrum disorder or learning disorder. Without educational program, we cannot plan intervention. Without educational program, we cannot think over to teach the children. So in this video, I am going to focus on what do you understand by educational program, that is what is educational program and how it looks, and steps of educational program. These two things we are going to focus today in this video. So let us start with educational program. What is educational program? So meaning, a program for providing education. That means you're going to provide an intervention, you're going to make some plan to showcase your teaching to the children with intellectual disability or any other disability. So educational program is a program written by the institution or a special educator, you guys, or teacher, which determines the learning progress of each domain in all the level of training. I'm specifying all the level of training. Educational program can be prepared for all the levels. It's not only for pre-primary, it's not only for this particular domain. It can be prepared for all the levels, all the domains. Steps. The steps are very simple and it is very important, which you need to follow while preparing or developing your educational program. So educational program development process can be divided into 6 steps or stages. We will see all 6. These are the 6 steps: formulation of objective, selection of learning experience, determination of the content, preparation of learning material or activities, implementation, evaluation. We are going to discuss one by one and try to understand. Formulation of objective. This is very important when you prepare, when you select the content for your child. So it has a certain objective, that process for the attainment. You are selecting the content for the attainment, for the development. So these objectives can be divided into 3 types. These are long-term objectives, mediatory objectives, and short-term objectives. We will discuss this one by one. Long-term objectives are expected to be attainable by going through the entire schooling. That means you're going to select the content which the child is going to attain for whole 1 year. So these objectives cannot be observed immediately. That's why what you do is you wait for a year. You wait for a year-end examination, and then you try to find out where my child has achieved. So a student with intellectual disability, after spending, for example, a number of years of schooling, may attain a broad and comprehensive objectives of developing into a full-fledged and matured person entering through the adulthood. See the transformation. See, with these necessary skills, knowledge, attitude, value, see where educational program stands. It is very strong. If you select the content properly, they can be independent in the society. Understanding of the world and the environment around is more intense and clear, and one is capable of studying further for even contributing to the economy. So What I want to say here, when you select your long-term goal, make sure that the content is selected is giving something to those kids, those who have difficulties in attaining, so that at least they can become independent when they move on. So long-term goals are predetermined. As I said, it is selected before formulating your curriculum. As I said, educational program can be set as a curriculum. So it is predetermined. It is selected before to teach, to give them experience. So children with intellectual disabilities, those who have a moderate level of intelligence, from for them functional curriculum come into existence, which tells some limitations in completing the regular education even after adaptation. See here, the mild level can achieve the schooling, whereas moderate they face some difficulty. That's why you prepare some functional curriculum for them. Let us say what is mediatory objectives. Remember, your objective is divided into three types. One is your long-term mediatory objectives and short-term objectives. Now we are going to discuss about mediatory objectives. Mediatory objectives are divided from long-term objectives. These objectives help in promoting the mediatory objectives. This objective refers to the education at various levels for children with intellectual disabilities or at various grades, such as grade 5 to 12, and like from primary to secondary. So it varies. It may also refer a particular content area. For example, if it is a language, mathematics or science, so which is based on the general curriculum or in the regular education. So you're going to select a particular content for our children. So that is the mediatory objectives. The particular content are related, areas are related to intellectual disability, can be included in each domains, like from personal to recreational skills. So mediatory is a very specific content area in the middle of long-term and short-term objectives, you can say. And short-term objectives known as specific objectives, which you have to remember the 5 components, that is your condition, content, behavior, criteria and duration, which you can say. And also it is very smart, which is specific, measurable, achievable, reliable and durable, which are expressed in the term of behavioral outcome, in term of what teacher wants to attain through their teaching, or what a learner is able to learn in a particular lesson. So that is your short term objective, what exactly the teacher want her or his child to attain. So that is your short term objectives. The point that we want to bring home is that a long term objective. Anyways, see, without mediatory and short term objective, we cannot achieve a long term. So finally our aim is to achieve a long term anyways. So to achieve that, we need to divide the goal into mediatory and short term objectives. We need to link it. When we link, we can see a huge difference. And also a linkage in refers to the overall development of child with intellectual disability in various skills, in various domains, in various knowledge. Therefore, we need to decide short term objective very clearly. Let us move to the selection of learning experience. This directly reflects the teaching learning process of in the classroom by the teacher, where teacher and student involve, where they are proactive. So curriculum, I'm using the word curriculum because educational program also refers as curriculum, and it should provide physical, mental, emotional experiences to the children with intellectual disability. So teacher various subjects or domains provide a various activity in the real settings, in the real situation. Remember, when you take the teaching, it should be with the real situation, for our children with intellectual disability. In only in few cases you can plan for simulation where you cannot deal in the classroom. Like for example, if you want to teach a concept of fire, you cannot teach in the classroom. You have to take the help of ICT. So in that way, you need to focus as your teacher, as your special educator, as you are doing a great job teaching. You need to come with creative learning experiences. So this experience lead to change in behavior. When you are creative, you can see your creativeness in the learner, which changes in the behavior which they lead and achieve the objectives which you have planned. So the learning experience should be accordance with the learning level of the learners. It should not be like the child is in 5th grade and you're planning the 10th grade. No, it should be as per the age level and maturation, cognitive maturation of the child, physical maturation of the child, also socio-economic background. You need to consider while planning your learning experience. Let us move to the determination of the content. The content is a tool to attain the objective of your educational program, objective of your curriculum. So every time I'm telling attainment, the content where the child has to achieve, that is called your content. So the content contributes to the growth and development. If you select a wrong content, 100% what your expectation you cannot see in the child. So the content is considered one of the most important component of the curriculum development or educational development. It is same. So Stanley and the Shore in 1957 suggested 5 criteria for the selection of the content, which we need to see. Let us see that. Is the subject matter significant to an organized field of knowledge? Whether the content which I have selected, that is related to my subject, whether this is related to the child knowledge or not. This question you need to answer. Then, does the matter stands the test of survival? Does the subject matter, does the test matter or subject matter stand the test of survival? If I teach my content, does the child will be independent and surviving alone? Or is the subject matter useful? If I select the content, it should be useful to the child. If it is not useful, it's waste of selecting the content. Is the subject matter interesting to the learner? If the content you have selected, if it is not interested to the child, it may not you may not achieve. So make sure that content is selected is interested by the child. Does the subject matter contributes to the growth and development of the democratic society? As we are living in the democratic society, so whatever the content you teach, tomorrow they are going to go in society and they are going to flourish. So the content which you select must be useful in the society. Let us do the 4th step, preparation of learning materials and objectives. So this is the most important part of your educational program. Learning material include textbooks, supplementary reader, lot of other materials like flashcard, concrete or models, because without learning material we cannot implement the educational program. So this material could be in the form of printed, audio, video, so it can be in any format. So it is the most important stage which is sequentially arranged into the educational activities. For example, if the child learning experience and the activities, if you want to integrate, what you have to do? So you need to follow this model. See, this model is given by the Bruners. It was given long ago, and he has divided this model into 3 stages: an active mode, which is an activity based; iconic, which is an image based; and symbolic, which is a symbol and language based. See, for example, here an active mode is nothing but your concrete object. If you want to teach about orange, You want to show a real orange so that they can feel, they can smell, they can touch. So you need to show a concrete material in the first step, and then iconic. That means once you move from concrete, you can give an image, a diagram to understand, and symbolic is nothing but abstract thinking. So you need to arrange your material in such a way when you teach, when you prepare your learning teaching material. Let us move to the fifth one, implementation. It is very important part of educational program. Without this, our educational program will cannot succeed, or it will get fail. So after the preparation of teaching learning material, as you know, this is the next step. Agarwal has suggested some points which we can implement. Let us see that. An adequate preparation of teacher by a board, a school, it can help to implement. Sufficient supply of teaching aid and equipped needed for the implement. If you don't have sufficient teaching learning material, you cannot implement. Respect of the community for the new educational program. If you don't have respect, coming up and saying that I don't like that, so it cannot be implemented. So make sure that it is liked. Adequate preparedness of the student to accept the new curriculum with additional requirements. So the curriculum or the educational program which you have planned, that has to be accepted by the student. If not, you cannot implement. And educate, supervise with the guidance. You have to give the guidance to the teacher. If not, you will fail to implement your curriculum. So make sure that you give a guidance, right guidance on it. And last step is about your evaluation. It's a very important part of educational program or curricular program. Evaluation is the last stage. The purpose of this is to evaluate whether my curriculum or educational program need to be modified or not. So this is very important. So this may be a quantitative as well as a qualitative or a both. So quantitative means in the form of numbers, and qualitative it is in the form of description. So evaluation is done both in micro as well as the macro level. Micro level involve the extent of attainment of pre-stipulated objectives. That means evaluating the levels, evaluating the activities or learning activities in a smaller way. Macro is your summative evaluation, where you evaluate the whole educational program at the end of the year or after the end of your educational program, so that you think over and over whether to adapt, modify, or accommodate some content in that or not. So this is about the evaluation. So I think you have understood the steps. If you have any comments or doubt, you can just comment me in the comment box. And if it was helpful, please like, share, comment and subscribe. So thank you very much. I will see you the next time.